A bathroom shelf in Dayton, Ohio, 1953. 3 items. A jar of Pond's cold cream, the glass kind with the green lid, a small tin of Vaseline, a bottle of Dickinson's witch hazel. The shelf is white painted wood, slightly chipped at the edges. Nothing else on it. The woman who uses these 3 items is 31 years old. Her skin is clear, luminous, and unmarked. She will look essentially the same at 50. Her entire annual skincare cost is less than $2. Today, her granddaughter owns 27 products. She spends over $2,400 a year. Her skin is not as good. She does not know why. The answer is on her grandmother's shelf. These are 10 skincare tricks 1950s women kept hidden their whole lives, and number 1 is the thing the industry most needs you not to know. This is suppressed history. Before we get into it, make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss what we uncover next. Her name is Dorothy Caldwell. She lives in a small house on a quiet street in Dayton with her husband and 2 daughters. She is 31. She works no more than 3 minutes on her evening routine. Her mother, Evelyn, has the same luminous skin at 58. Dorothy will maintain this routine into her 70s. In 1992, her granddaughter, Jessica, will find the same 3 items on the same shelf. Jessica, already spending $40 a month on Clinique at 17, will ask the secret. Dorothy will laugh and say she does not have a secret. She has cold cream. Let us start at the beginning. Number 10, the cold water. Rinse, 5:45 in the morning, Dayton, Ohio, 1953. The house is quiet. Dorothy stands at the bathroom sink in her cotton robe. She turns the cold tap. Not the warm, the cold. She cups the water in both hands and presses it to her face, holds it there. The shock of it pulls the blood to the surface. Her cheeks flush pink. She pats dry with a clean towel. The whole thing takes 90 seconds. That is her morning skincare routine, nothing else. Cold water constricts blood vessels on contact. A 1951 study in the British Journal of Dermatology confirmed that brief cold exposure tightens pores temporarily and reduces morning puffiness. Women like Dorothy did not need the study. They had mirrors. Today, cryotherapy facials cost between $150 and $300 per session. The global cryotherapy market reached $6.3 billion in 2023. Ice roller tools sell for $30 a piece on every beauty shelf in America. Dorothy used a tap. It cost nothing. The best morning skincare product falls from your tap for free. Number 9, bar soap for the face. Sometime in the late 1970s, the beauty industry told women to stop washing their faces with soap. The claim was that bar soap was too alkaline, too harsh, too stripping. It would damage the skin's acid mantle and cause dryness, breakouts, irritation. Women believed it. They had no reason not to. Here is what they were not told. Syndet bars, short for synthetic detergent, have existed since the 1940s. Dove launched its beauty bar in 1957 with a neutral pH of 7. It was never harsh. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology tested Syndet bars against high-end liquid cleansers and found no significant difference in skin hydration or barrier function. None. But a bar of soap costs $1. A bottle of cleanser costs $28. The facial cleanser market is worth $11.5 billion globally. That market does not exist if women keep using bar soap. They never proved soap was bad. They proved saying so was profitable. Number 8, witch hazel as toner. 6:15 in the evening. Dorothy is home from the market. The girls are fed. She sits at the edge of the bathtub with a cotton pad and the bottle of Dickinson's witch hazel. She tips the bottle, wets the pad, and sweeps it across her forehead, her cheeks, her chin. The smell is clean, herbal, a little sharp. The cotton comes away faintly dirty. She drops it in the wastebasket. Done. Dickinson's witch hazel has been sold since 1866. Theron T. Dickinson started the company in Essex, Connecticut. A bottle cost about 40 cents in 1953. Witch hazel is a natural astringent. It removes residue, tightens pores, and calms irritation. A 1991 study in the Journal of Inflammation Research found it reduced skin inflammation as effectively as hydrocortisone in mild cases. The modern toner market is worth $3.6 billion, Bottles range from $18 to $65. Most contain water, glycerin, and a plant extract. Some contain witch hazel. They just do not put it on the front of the label. It costs $5. They surrounded it with expensive alternatives and hoped you would forget. Number 7. Kitchen face masks. Peggy Holt, Columbus, Ohio. 1956. Secretary at an insurance office downtown. 2 products on her bathroom shelf. Peggy never apologized for simplicity. On Sunday evenings, she cracked an egg into a saucer, separated the white from the yolk with a spoon, and spread the white across her forehead and cheeks with her fingers. She felt it tighten. 10 minutes later, she rinsed it off with warm water. Her skin felt smooth as riverstone. Egg whites contain albumin, a protein that temporarily contracts the skin on contact. Oatmeal mixed with honey draws moisture in while gently removing dead cells. A 2014 study in the Journal of Drugs and Dermatology confirmed colloidal oatmeal's efficacy as an anti-inflammatory and skin barrier protectant. A single egg costs 12 cents. A tablespoon of honey costs about the same. A high-end sheet mask costs $12 and goes straight in the trash after 15 minutes. The global face mask market hit $10.1 billion in 2023. Peggy Holt's version cost 3 cents and she rinsed it down the sink. Joan Crawford used egg white masks before every public appearance. She swore by them in multiple interviews. She never endorsed a sheet mask. Your grandmother's face mask cost 3 cents and worked. Yours costs 12 and gets trashed. Number 6. Vaseline on fine lines. 9:15 at night. Dorothy's girls are in bed. The house is still. She sits at her vanity, a small wooden table with a round mirror. She opens the tin of Vaseline. She dabs a tiny amount on her ring finger and pats it gently around her eyes. Under, over, along the faint lines at the corners. She does not rub, she pats. The whole thing takes 20 seconds. She has done this every night since she was 23. Her mother, Evelyn, taught. Petroleum jelly was first sold by Robert Chesebro in 1870 under the name Vaseline. A tin cost about 15 cents in 1953. It creates an occlusive barrier that locks moisture into the skin and prevents transepidermal water loss. A 1992 study in the Journal of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists found petroleum jelly reduced moisture loss by 98%, a figure no commercial eye cream has matched. The global anti-aging skincare market is worth $60.8 billion. The average eye cream costs between $45 and $90 for half an ounce. Marilyn Monroe reportedly used Vaseline on her face before bed. So did Elizabeth Taylor, who credited simple petroleum jelly for the skin around her famously violet eyes. The best anti-wrinkle product ever tested costs $3. It always has. Before we continue, if this is landing the way I think it is, hit subscribe and like so more of this reaches people who need to see it. Then stay, because number 1 is the thing the industry most needs you not to know. Number 5, cold cream as universal cleanser. 8:50 in the evening, Dorothy's nightly ritual. She unscrews the green lid of the Pond's jar. The cream is thick, white, cool to the touch. She scoops a small amount with 2 fingers and begins working it across her face in slow circles. Forehead first, then cheeks, then chin. 30 seconds. The cream dissolves the day. Dust, sweat, whatever traces of powder she wore. She wipes it away with a soft cloth. Her face is clean. Her skin is soft. She does not need a second cleanser. She does not need a micellar water. She needs nothing else. Cold cream was invented by the Greek physician Galen in the 2nd century. The formula was simple: beeswax, olive oil, water, and rose petals. Pond's Extract Company began selling its version in 1846. Theron T. Pond first marketed it as a healing balm. By 1950, a jar of Pond's cold cream cost 35 cents and sat in nearly every bathroom in America. Grace Kelly used Pond's. It appeared in her personal effects. The formula cleanses and moisturizes in a single step. The oils dissolve makeup and dirt. The water base hydrates. Today, the double cleansing method requires 2 products: an oil cleanser and a water-based cleanser. Together, they cost between $30 and $80. The global facial cleanser market reached $7.2 billion in 2023. Cold cream did both jobs. The industry split them and charged for each. Cold cream did 2 jobs. The industry split them into 7 and charged you for each. Here is what keeps appearing when you trace this carefully enough. None of these were secrets. They were common sense. Every woman on every block in every town knew them. They were not lost because they stopped working. They were buried because they were too cheap to build an industry on. You cannot grow a multi-billion-dollar market if the solution costs 35 cents. But what comes at number 3 changed everything I thought I knew about how much is enough. Number 4, sun avoidance as anti-aging. When I started this research, I assumed the 1950s routines worked because expectations were lower. Simpler times, simpler standards. What the data actually shows is the opposite. The science says those women were right. Their skin was better, not despite the simplicity, but because of it. And the industry has had access to that science for decades. Ruth Yamamoto, Sacramento, California, 1954. A Nisei woman, born in America to Japanese immigrant parents. Every Saturday morning, she walks to the produce stand on J Street wearing a wide-brimmed straw hat. The sun is sharp and warm on her shoulders, but never on her face. She wears the hat spring, summer, and fall. She learned this from her mother, who learned it from hers. The hat is not fashion. It is protection passed down through generations. A landmark 1997 study in the New England Journal of Medicine concluded that up to 90% of visible skin aging is caused by ultraviolet radiation. Not genetics, not age, sun. Women like Ruth, women who simply avoided direct sun on their faces, preserved their skin more effectively than any product on the market today. Ruth also used rice bran paste and camellia oil, both of which cost pennies. Her routine proved that simplicity crossed every culture and every tradition. The global sun care market is worth $14.2 billion. Ruth Yamamoto had a hat. The most powerful anti-aging treatment in the world is a hat. Here is the pattern, and there is no way around it now. Simple routines did not fail women. They did not stop working. They were replaced. Not because something better came along, but because something more expensive did. Every product on this list was effective, available, and cheap. That is exactly why it had to be pushed aside. The industry did not improve on simplicity. It erased it. And number 3 is where the science confirms what your grandmother already knew. Number 3, the less is more evidence. Dorothy's bathroom shelf. 3 items in a row. Pond's, Vaseline, witch hazel. That shelf is not nostalgia. It is evidence. In 2017, dermatologist Dr. Sandy Scott-Nicky published a study documenting what she called product overuse syndrome. Patients who used more than 5 products daily showed higher rates of irritation, sensitivity, and chronic redness than patients who used 3 or fewer. A 2019 study in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found that excessive exfoliation and layering of active ingredients damaged the skin barrier in over 40% of participants. Dr. Zoe Draelos, a consulting dermatologist who has published over 500 peer-reviewed papers, has stated in multiple interviews that 3 products are sufficient for the vast majority of skin types: cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Dorothy had 3 products in 1953. The dermatologists say 3 is enough in 2024. 70 years apart, the same number. The global skincare market is worth $189 billion. That number does not survive if 3 is the answer. 3 products beat 12. The science proves it. The industry has always known. The data is in. The dermatologists agree. The published studies confirm it. What your grandmother had on her shelf was not primitive, it was precise. What follows is the financial proof and the structural revelation that holds the whole thing together. Number 1 is the thing the skincare industry most needs you not to understand. Number 2, petroleum jelly as overnight moisturizer. 10 o'clock at night. Dorothy's house is dark except for the bathroom light. She has already cleaned her face with Pond's. She has already swept the witch hazel. Now she takes the same tin of Vaseline she used around her eyes and spreads a thin layer across her entire face. Forehead, cheeks, chin. nose. The jelly feels thick at first, but it warms against her skin and settles into something barely noticeable. She turns off the light. She goes to bed. In the morning, her skin is soft and smooth as a cotton sheet. This practice was called slugging when it resurfaced on social media around 2021. Beauty editors treated it as a revelation. Dermatologists on TikTok explained the science as though it were new. It was not new. Dorothy and millions of women like her had done it every night for decades. Petroleum jelly retains 98% of skin moisture, according to the 1992 study in the Journal of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists. No night cream on the market matches that number. Not the $80 La Mer, not the $55 Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair. Not a single product in the $13.4 billion night cream market. A jar of Vaseline costs $3.49. It lasts months. Audrey Hepburn reportedly used Vaseline as a nightly moisturizer for most of her life. She called it the one product she could not do without. 98% moisture retention. Your $60 night cream cannot match that number. Number 1. How the industry expanded the essential routine. This is the one they need you not to understand. In 1953, Dorothy Caldwell's skincare routine had 3 steps: cleanse with cold cream, tone with witch hazel, seal with Vaseline. 3 products, less than $2 a year. Her skin was clear and luminous at 31 and remained so into her 70s. By 1980, the beauty industry had introduced the concept of the regimen. Cleansing was split into 2 steps. Toning became a separate category. Moisturizing was divided into day cream and night cream. Eye cream was separated from face cream. Serums were inserted between toner and moisturizer. Exfoliants were added weekly. Masks were added bi-weekly. Essences arrived from Korean beauty marketing in the 2000s. Ampules followed. Mists followed those. Each new step was positioned as essential. Each one came with clinical language and before and after photography. Each one cost between $20 and $90. The routine that was 3 steps became 5, then 7, then 10, then 12. The average American woman now uses between 9 and 12 skincare products daily. The global skincare market generates $189 billion annually. In 1950, the entire American beauty industry was worth approximately $1.5 billion adjusted for inflation. That is a 120-fold increase. The mechanism is simple. Take a single effective product, separate its functions, give each function a clinical name, create a product for each name, market each product as essential, repeat. Cold cream, cleansed and moisturized. The industry split those 2 functions into 7 products and sold each one at 40 times the original price. Dorothy's granddaughter, Jessica, now owns 27 products. She spends over $200 a month, over $2,400 a year. Her skin is not as clear as her grandmother's was at the same age. She does not know why. The answer has been sitting on a white-painted shelf in Dayton, Ohio since 1953. They did not solve a problem, not solve. They created one and sold you the solution. In 1992, Jessica visits Dorothy's house in Dayton. She is 17. She walks into the bathroom. The shelf is the same white-painted wood, still slightly chipped at the edges. 3 items sit in a neat row. Pond's cold cream with the green lid, Vaseline, Dickinson's witch hazel. Dorothy is 70. Her skin is soft even and bright. Jessica is already spending more per month than Dorothy spent in a decade. She picks up the jar of Pond's. It is cool and heavy in her hand. She looks at her grandmother. She asks what the secret is. Dorothy laughs. She says she does not have a secret. She has cold cream. Jessica sets the jar back on the shelf. The same 3 items. The same shelf. 40 years later. Nothing changed because nothing needed to. The skincare industry did not improve on what your grandmother knew. It buried it, split it into 12 steps, and sold it back to you at 400 times the price. Pond's cold cream, Vaseline, witch hazel, a cold water tap, a bar of soap, a hat. These were not replaced because something better arrived. They were replaced because something more expensive did. Which of these did your mother or grandmother actually use? And which one are you trying first this week?